presents to you Honest Talk.
Hi folks, today Madam Monica Kosick is going to join us for talk. Monica's passion is to help executives and organizations connect with their infinite potential and become a better version of themselves. She uses diverse mediums of delivery like classroom training, facilitation methods, outbound programs, virtual platforms, assessment and development centers, coaching, and combine these modes of delivery with systems thinking to provide real-time solutions. Monica's core competence is gaining deep understanding of learning needs and culture of the client organizations and offering solutions that are customized to suit their specific requirements. Her enduring quest in life is upgrading self, and this is reflected in her insatiable hunger to improve herself and her offerings. Simplicity, depth, and patience define her style and persona. Her sessions are simple, honest, encouraging, and insightful while being practical with result orientation. So, let's begin our talk with Monica Kosick.
First of all, ma'am, I welcome you to in this session. Thank you so much for joining and agreeing to share your thoughts with us. We are extremely very happy to have you for today's talk.
Thank you, Harsh. Thank you for having me over with you.
It's our pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining. So moving to the topic of today's session, which we have chosen is the incredible power of believing in yourself. Ma'am, my first question, or rather say, it's a request to you, ma'am. Kindly tell our viewers, what does believing in yourself mean?
So, believing in yourself comes a lot from self-awareness. The more you are aware of yourself, of your beliefs, of your values, of your goals in life, of your vision in life, the more you are aware of your capabilities and the actions you are capable of taking, that gives you a belief in yourself, and that is your self-belief. So your self-belief has these ingredients, which is values, your belief system, your goals, your vision, your capabilities, and the actions you're capable of taking.
All right, ma'am. It was really a very wonderful answer from your side. Ma'am, my next question to you, what do you believe from where this self-belief come to us?
Harsh, what I have been working with all of you youngsters for a long time now. Not only youngsters, even for us elders, the more we expose ourselves to newer situations, newer people, newer environments, maybe a new country. So that is when the more we are challenged, the more self-belief develops.
All right, ma'am. Means we can say that whenever Yes, ma'am. Please continue.
Yeah. So what we have to generally do is that we have to take ourselves out of our comfort zone, and the more we get out of our comfort zone, that is when our self-belief starts developing.
So we can conclude that the more we get the life lesson, the more it becomes stronger. So ma'am, my next question to you, what can be the ways or strategies to develop an unshakable belief in yourself? If somebody wants to improve, having a self-doubt always in self-doubt, so what can be the ways to improve it?
So Harsh, there are a lot of ways you can go about it. First of all is you have to be ready to make mistakes. A lot of people do not take any forward action, they don't take any actions because they are so scared of making mistakes in the first place. Let me take an example. When you were little, when you were small, when you were 1 year old and you were learning to walk, and every time you took 1 or 2 steps, you fell, right? Did it happen with you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what you did was you didn't worry about that, and you got up and you tried again. So one of the biggest things in order to build your self-belief is to be patient with yourself and allow yourselves to make mistakes. It's okay. Just remember your little self when you were small. Every time you fell, you just got up and started, and then slowly, steadily, you actually became a strong walker. So this is what happens in most of our lives. Most of the times, we are just so scared of falling down that we don't take the first few steps. And those are the first few steps which build your belief.
All right, ma'am, you made a very important point that there's nothing wrong in doing the mistake, but the thing is that we always have to keep learning from them, never let them go waste. In same context, ma'am, my next question to you: what do you believe? What is the difference between confidence and self-belief?
I more or less I feel they are the same things. You know, the more you believe in yourself, the more confident you'll feel. So I think it's the same thing.
All right, ma'am. My next question to you: how to deal with failure and pick up yourself back up?
Self-love is very important. When you encounter any kind of failure, like you just mentioned, the best thing is to be patient with yourself and develop some self-love. So the more patient with you are with yourself, like I said, that when you were small and you fell down, every time you fell down, you didn't start flogging yourself, or you didn't start saying, oh my god, I'm so bad, I'm a failure, I'm a loser in life. Did that happen? It never happened, right? Those were the kind of thoughts which never came. But once we become adults, once we grow up, through the school, through the college, we start thinking of these things. The moment we make a mistake, we start having these kind of thoughts in our mind that, oh my god, I'm never doing it right, all the time I'm going wrong, I should be doing right things. So for this, the most important thing is developing patience and self-love.
All right, ma'am. As you have given an example of that, whenever when we are small, then always we fall and get up every time and start walking. Ma'am, what do you believe? What happened when we grown up and we means sometimes we encounter with any type of failure, then we found ourselves. Totally means that totally we get depressed and totally we feel that we are not for this type of things. So what make us this type?
So I think once we join the school, once we join the colleges, we come across people, we come across adults who give us, some kind of conditioning. Our society gives us the conditioning, our culture gives us the conditioning, our family members give us the conditioning. So a kind of conditioning comes and envelopes us, and we start seeing ourselves from the eyes of others. So we are no more looking at us from within. We start looking at us from the other people's view, and then is when we become cruel with ourselves, and we start judging ourselves, we start naming ourselves, we are impatient with ourselves. We don't either we make a mistake and we keep abusing ourselves, giving negative self, or we are just too scared of making a mistake.
All right, ma'am. As it is very common to see that a 12-year boy or girl under a depression, and so, ma'am, what do you believe? What are the major causes of depression?
If you ask me for the younger generation, I feel that I'm not a parenting coach, but as I am a parent myself, I feel that the parents need to spend more time with the children. A major cause of depression within the young ones is that the parents are not there, the grandparents are not there in the family. So the children, they don't know what to think and how to think. They are not trained in a way to handle their failures, in order to handle their loneliness, in order to handle their overwork. They've got a lot of work. There's a lot of peer pressure. So if there are some elders around in the family, if the parents are spending more time with the children, the question of depression doesn't come.
All right, ma'am.
Or the tweens need to be equipped to handle their thought processes. Yeah.
All right, ma'am. Ma'am, when I was collecting the questions for this session, there's multiple type of questions and somehow very mixed response. Ma'am, one question which I think that I must include in this session because you are joining us today. Ma'am, the question is that, ma'am, do you believe is our education system is something like that? We always keep comparing between the students, as if means someone is good in study, then we will compare that he is good in study and the other one is not. So we will always keep judging. So what do you think over it?
Yes, Harsh, thank you so much for asking this question. I think I've seen life enough. I have worked for 23 years now and in various industries, right from education to finance to beauty to media, and now I'm into training, coaching, consultation. One thing is for sure that your certificates or your marks do not matter. I have so many of my classmates who were backbenchers, who were scolded every day by the teacher, and they are doing much better in life, you know, in terms of being happy, in terms of success, in terms of earning money, in terms of being famous, and also in terms of changing lives of people around them. They are doing much better work than those who were sitting on the first bench and always getting 90% or above. So, and another thing I want to say while we are here on the video is that I went through the education policy which our government has just taken out. They've just, you must be aware of education policy which has come. I am very confident about it that things are going to change. Of course, it is not going to change in a year or two, not 1 or 2 years. It will take at least 5 to 6 years when we actually start seeing the change, because they have introduced a lot of internships, they have introduced entrepreneurship, so much more practical things into the education now, which wasn't there till now in the education policy. So this will be very good.
All right, ma'am. As you have mentioned about the new education policy, ma'am, one thing which I would like to mention, what I personally believe is that in this new education policy, we tried to include many things. Also, we try to focus that our education pattern will become more skill-based rather than just a theory or a conceptual based. But one thing what I believe is that still we haven't put a single focus on mental health. We have talked about in it about the physical health, but there was no any point regarding the mental health. So what would you like to say on it, ma'am?
What I feel is I have a lot of friends who are counselors in the school right now. So I think they do have a focus on the mental health as well. But we have places like Art of Living, and our Indian families are set up in a way that mental health can be taken care of. Can you hear me? I
Yes,
think
ma'am, I can.
okay. So the mental health can be taken care of, Harsh, once the parents decide to become more involved with the children. At least till the age of 18 or 16, let us say.
All right, ma'am. You again mentioned a very quite important point, and I think those who are watching this session, of course, they are going to learn that parent must have to put effort because everything can't school can't taught everything. So, ma'am, my next question to you: do you believe, ma'am, because in this pandemic we are stuck in our houses? We are because it's totally we can say totally reduced. We have social meeting the people or social meetings all. So ma'am, do you believe will it affecting our mental health?
No, not really. Not at all. Because people are still exercising. The ones who have to exercise, they're exercising. I feel that people are more in touch with their friends and relatives now. It could be Zoom, it could be MS Teams or whatever they're using, which I feel we weren't earlier. I myself personally am reaching out to cousins and to friends whom I didn't have time for earlier. But now we are actually, all of us are making the effort. People have Saturday family times where they play games with each other online. So I feel that suddenly people are closer together. So this can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am, I
I
can
thought
hear
it
you.
went. Okay.
No, I can hear you.
So yeah, so the lockdown has been a blessing in a lot of ways.
All right, ma'am. So my next question to you, I don't want to take you much time. Moving to my most probably this is the last question of this session, ma'am. As we have much diverted from our topic and the questions, my next question will, of course, it is related to the topic itself. What do you believe, ma'am? Power of believing in yourself, how it can be developed in children from their beginning or the growing age?
Again, a very good question, Harsh. So what I feel is that the kids have to be given more independence. They have to be given more trust. They have to be given more responsibility. They have to be treated as adults in the family. So the more you are able to give that kind of an importance to the child, the more self-belief he will develop or she will develop. This family, of this society, of this world, of this country. So this is a very good way of developing self-belief when you start asking the opinions of the children while you're making any decisions. It could be like even when they are 3 to 4 years old, you can start by asking them as to what clothes they want to wear. Do they want to wear a blue socks or a white socks, or small things like that, and also including them in everyday day-to-day activity. It could be cooking, it could be small things, it could be. And when I say that the parents need to be more involved, I don't mean that they have to become helicopter parents. They just have to be around for the children. They should know that, okay, my parent is just like a call away, or just a message away, or even they are there. That is the most important thing. The children should not feel that my parents are so busy that they are not reachable. So that is a mindset which has to be developed for the child.
Again, ma'am, it was really a very wonderful message, and you mentioned one point which I like the most is that there should be they should try to focus on reduce the communication gap, because what we have seen or rather we are seeing that when the children grown up, when they are in their teenager age, there's many type of conflict between parent and the children. They believe that they are from the previous generation and we are from young generation. What we believe is totally new type, and they try to become more cool, something like that. I don't want to go in much deep. So ma'am, it was really a very great session with you. Thank you so much for giving your important time. It was a healthy discussion with you over the topic. Thank you so much for joining.
Most welcome, Harsh. Anytime. Most welcome.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe.